fingers are stupid. Matter of fact, muscle memory is real, but not in the way most people think. Hey guys, welcome to Truth Guitar Method. My name is Joel. You can call me Joel, Son of Cesar. And yes, my dad's name really is Cesar. If this is your first time here at Truth Guitar Method in this channel, our focus, or my focus, I say our because my partner in crime is my wife, but our focus is the training and maintaining of your fingers in guitar playing. Yes, music too, but mostly maintaining and developing your playability in guitar. That's really our focus. And the way we do that is through a process called the additive process. So right now, what you're looking at is the Guitar Routine Level 2 Lesson 3, which means that there are 12 other lessons before this. Now you don't have to go back, you can just kind of stick around and see if you're at the level. And if you are at the level, great, you keep going from here. And if you're not at the level, go check out some of the older videos and get caught up and then come back to this video. Today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to talk about finger confusion, how to confuse your fingers and what's the benefit of confusing the fingers. That's really what we're going to talk about today. It's really not that hard. There's a couple of exercises that we're going to look at, and we're going to review a little bit of what we did last week and the week before that. So let's just get started. Yeah, let's do it. Here we go. Ascending and descending on the left hand for the left hand warm-up. The focus here is to warm up the left hand by forcing the fingers to lift every time they move to a new position. You can go up to the 12th position or further. In descending, it is the same thing. Forcing your fingers to attack the string. Very important is that your thumb moves along with your other fingers and that it did not stay behind. Once you've done it on the first string, you can move on to the second, doing the same concept of ascending and descending. You want to do that on the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. From the Beginner Guitar Routine Level 2 Lesson 2, we went over sight reading basics. And on the first string, we have E open, F on the first fret, G on the third fret. Second string, we have B open, C on the first, D on the third. On the third string, we have G on the open, A on the second, and B on the fourth. On the fourth string, we have D open, E on the second, F on the third. On the fifth string, we have A on the open, B on the second, and C on the third. And sixth string is exactly as the first except 2 octaves up. So E open, F first fret, and G third fret. We also talked about positions, and the first position means that fingers belong to fret 1, 2, 3, 4. An open position is first position with the open notes included. Let's move on. So guys, confusing your fingers, that's something that people get so confused about, really, because you're wondering why would you want to confuse your fingers? That's just the words we use to describe what's actually happening. But so I want to say something real quickly. Yes, muscle memory exists, absolutely, 100%. The thing is, some people don't understand that the muscle memory doesn't actually come from the muscle when it comes to guitar playing. When it comes to guitar playing, when we're talking about muscle memory, it's basically finger confusion. So what you do is you've trained your fingers to do these things over and over, consistently over and over. And if you notice, once you get good at one exercise, it becomes super easy because your fingers remember what to do. It's not that your fingers are remembering what to do, it's that you told your fingers, oh, we're gonna do the thing we did the last time, and then they go. It's kind of like you remember how to walk, like automatically, because you wanna walk and you just tell your legs to walk until it becomes automatic movement, like just like that. But muscle memory is a little bit different to what people believe. So we've been used to doing these things, right, with our fingers in even numbers. For example, 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Well, finger confusion takes that same concept of 1 2 3 4, but confusing your fingers because they're used to going in a sequence 1 2 3 4. Well, what if we confused them and did 1 3 2 4 1 3 2 4 1 3 2 4? Then now you're having to fight against them wanting to go 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and then you switching it over to 1 3 2 4 or 1 4 2 3 or whatever the pattern is. So applying the concept of confusing your fingers can be applied to any of the exercises. Is just taking the exercise that you have and then just tweaking it a little bit to where your fingers are no longer doing the exact same sequence you've been doing previously. Now, if you've been following Truth Guitar Method, this is probably your, I'd say maybe 13th lesson, right? Because we had 10 lessons in the beginner one, and we've had 3 lessons in beginner 2. So you've been doing these exercises for 13 weeks. I think now is the time to confuse your fingers when you practice. Now, I'm not saying do it all the time. I'm just saying when you're practicing, when you are maintaining, when you're warming up your left hand, your right hand, syncing, scales, chords, and going through your progression, going through your routine, you do it the way that you've normally done it, but then at the end of it, tweak it a little bit and force your fingers to have to think differently. And by doing so, you start to begin to train them for diverse possibilities, okay? So when you pick up a song, right, and all of a sudden that song is asking for a certain sequence, a certain pattern in the fingers, if your fingers are not used to that particular pattern, then you're gonna have some trouble gaining it. And I'm not saying you can't do it or you won't be able to achieve it. I'm just saying if you train your fingers to do it before you actually experience it in a piece of music, then you get ready. So right now we're gonna go ahead and do some exercises that confuse your fingers just a little bit to get them to do exactly what you want to do and get them to have to force to think differently. All right, so the first exercise that I want you guys to focus on with applying the finger confusion is the semi-chromatic exercise. Now, the semi-chromatic exercise takes place in the syncing hands, right? And the semi-chromatic exercise is on the 9th position, and it does this thing where it applies both alternate picking and bursts plus moving your fingers in a sequence of 1, 2, 3, 4. You can do that exercise pretty much anywhere. Now, ways to confuse your fingers is yes, by going faster, by going slower, but there's an even better way, and that is to change their pattern. And right now what they're used to, yes, they're being tested by being able to play slow, and then by doubling up, right? They're being tested that way, but the way they are not being tested is by changing their pattern. So what we're going to do is instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, we're going to confuse your fingers. We're going to go 1, 3, 2, 4. And now if I were talking about frets, I'm talking about 9, 11, 10, 12. 9, 11, 10, 12. So now instead of going, you're going to do that exact same thing, but with the new pattern, the new sequence. And this is going to confuse your fingers. Now, what I did there obviously doesn't look confusing because I've practiced it multiple times. But when you try this for the first time, you'll notice that you'll have to fight to force your fingers to have to do what you're tell them to do. That's the confusion part. That's the part you want to fight through. So you take the pattern, double time, so finger confusion kind of prepares your fingers to get ready for any circumstance, any situation that arises on the guitar fretboard. So finger confusion, man, go do it. So we've got this exercise that we've been doing, the adjacent finger exercise, which is on the 5th position. So we're using frets 5, 6, 7, 8, and we're going 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6, 5, 6. In my right hand, I am just alternating. I'm gonna move back just a little bit so you can see. So we've been doing this thing. And maybe you're at a point where you still can't do alternate picking. Maybe you're doing everything down. And that's okay. Or maybe you're working on your weakness, which is up. And that's okay too. But what we're gonna do now is we're gonna confuse your fingers a little bit more. On this hand, you're going to play once. So that is the first note, that's the 5. But then we're going to apply the idea of that hammer-on exercise that we do on our left hand. So when you play the first note, and then you're gonna hammer the next. So that's gonna offer a new confusing pattern for your fingers, and you're gonna have to fight through it. So play, tap, play, tap. When I first began that exercise, I was just kind of doing down picking. And you can do the same thing. But midway through, as I was thinking about what I was showing you and how we were doing finger confusion, I began to change it. So then I started alternating. I started going down and then up on the next, down, up. Or you can do everything up or do everything down or do all of it, and then your fingers get used to all these different ways, and then you are better prepared for whatever music comes up. All right, so what is economy picking? Now, I'm gonna be completely honest because that's what the Truth Guitar Method is. I actually did not discover economy picking until about a year ago, okay? And we have what is alternate picking. So down, up, down, up. But alternate picking is usually grouped with even numbers by 2s, 4s, 8, whatever, right? So for example, if I were doing the exercise going downwards on my right hand, it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, and everything lines up perfectly. Economy picking is usually what, from my experience, and which is a very little amount of experience, is usually grouped by odd numbers. For example, 3. So economy picking is the idea that when you are playing, right, and you start down, up, down, rather than restart the next string on your new pattern, which would be alternate picking, right? Because you would go down, down, up, down, up, down, just to keep the alternate pick going. Well, the idea of economy picking is that instead of having to readjust every single string, instead you just apply that stroke to the next string. In other words, down, up, down, and I'm already there. So I might as well just do down again. So I'm talking about down, up, down, 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 down. So what I'm repeating is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. And I'm not going down, up, 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 right? So on the right hand, the way to prepare for this is you're going to confuse the right hand because right now it's used to going down, up, 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 down, up. That's what it used to doing. So what you're going to do is you're going to confuse it a little bit and go down, up, down. By the next string, you're going to go down again. If you're a classical guitar player, this is not something that is usually used in classical guitar playing. You wouldn't do I am, I am, I am, I. It wouldn't happen that way. It would usually be I am, I. It would usually alternate between I and M. Very few instances where you would have to repeat one over the other. I think unless you're doing like tremolo. But then even at that point, not really, because you're using 3 fingers. Okay, so back to what we're doing. The 3 patterns are going to be, I'm going to talk about fingers, and this is on the 5th position, so using 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're using 1, 2, 3. That's the first pattern that we're going to use, and we're going to go down, shift over, and then come up. And then the next pattern is 1, 2, 4. So 5, 6, 8, and we're going to go down, shift over, and come up. And then 1, 3, 4, which is 5, 7, 8. And we're going to go down, shift over, and come back up. And then we're going to go 1, 2, 4, but with a stretch in between, kind of like a 3-note per string scale. And we're going to go down, shift over, and then come up. And finally, the most annoying of all, in my opinion, is 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go, that's on 6, 7, and 8. We're going to go down, shift over, and then come back up. And on the right hand, it is no alternate picking. No alternate picking, man. You have to do economy picking. You don't have to go fast. You can go super slow. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to go super slow because I'm not a pro at this. Like I said, I just discovered it maybe a year ago. I had no idea this was a thing. No idea. Okay. So 5th position, and we're gonna go 1, 2, 3, next string, 3, next 3, and over here I'm just doing down, up, down, next string, always the same. So here we go. First one, and remember tabs, TruthGuitarMethod.com. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, down. Shift, and this is where the pattern changes, up, down, up. So there's that drag, right, that happens. Then 1, 2, 4. Pattern changes. Then 1, 3, 4. Sorry. Then the stretch, 1, 2, 4. And then 2, 3, 4. So those are all the different patterns to practice your economy picking. Now here with this particular exercise, you are confusing everything. You're confusing your right hand because it's used to the alternate picking. You're confusing your left hand because it's constantly changing patterns. Everything is confusion. And for that, you will be a better player. All right, guys, so that's it. Finger confusion. Whoa. Tons of stuff. All right, man, if you have any questions, make sure that you leave a comment below. If you want a more personalized response, check out my email in the About section, or just go to TruthGuitarMethod.com and go to the little contact section and send me a question or whatever it is that, however I can help you. Listen, it's been fun. I really enjoy doing this. Thank you so much for everybody who has been subscribing. We're almost nearing 400, man. I can't believe it. This is great. So let's see, what was I gonna say? Yeah, finger confusion. Practice! And I will see you guys on Saturday. Don't forget to come by for the live session. Don't forget, if you like this video, like it, hit the little bell, ding, and subscribe, share it. Let's grow together and let's, take over the world, guys. That's it, man. Let's see, do I have anything else? Anything else? No, I don't think so. See ya!